NFL player props here on PrizePicks for Thursday, October 3rd, you guys. Thursday Night Football here over on PrizePicks. Before I get started, link in the description below. Hop into the premium Discord, $9.30 per month, 31 cents per day. It's where I post all the plays I'm making on PrizePicks. There's other cappers in there as well. Overall, you guys, it's a super positive community. Everyone in the Discord is trying to help each other cash. Also mention I'm not a gambling expert, and this is not financial advice. Simply just the plays I'm personally looking at making. Hopefully giving you guys some insight analysis to make your own player prop decisions here. But yeah, let's get into it. Falcons, Tampa Bay, Thursday Night Football in Atlanta. Also, before I get started, I want to talk about Daily Grand Fantasy, you guys. The DFS Optimizer is a tool that I do use on a daily basis. There's a link in the description. You can get promo code TUFF. You get 25% off your first month. Again, it does all the hard work for you guys. The top play on the board right now would be a EuroLeague basketball play, Trent Forrest under 3.5 assists, because it's on Caesars at minus 155 under. But it takes all the major odds from all the major sports books, you guys, and gives them in 1% odds to hit here. So I like this spot a lot. But going into the first play, and I will be talking about this actually from one of my plays here, the first play of today's video. But yeah, let's get into it. The first play is going to be Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield, combo pass yards over 175.5. So if we take a look at Daily Grand Fantasy, we look at Chris Godwin and Drake London, over 129.5 receiving yards for the two of them, has a 55.03% odds to go over, right? And on PrizePicks, this is now bumped, showing you how quickly and in real time how fast these lines move, which is the benefit here of Daily Grand Fantasy. But coming back to this here, 471.5 passing yards. We see the receiving combo yards for Chris Godwin and Drake London is at 130.5. I just don't see a scenario where these two guys get 130 plus and Baker and Kirk Cousins combined don't get 472, if that makes any sense. Taking a look at this one here, we know Baker Mayfield and the entire Tampa Bay offense is pretty pass first overall as a team. Like, they're a pass heavy offense. I think if we actually look at the splits, the passing versus, they're a 61% pass rate. Again, this is outlier again. There's also a link in the description. You get a 7-day free trial with outlier, but they 61% pass rate, which obviously attributes to this play, and he's over this line of 244.5 passing yards over his last 10 games. And again, he had a pretty monster game last week against Philly, throwing for 347 yards, and it's really because they don't have a dominant running back, right? Tampa Bay Bucs, between Rashad White and Bucky Irving. Neither one of those guys, they're both solid running backs, and they both can catch the ball out the backfield, which is why I also like the upside for this play. And then we look at the other side, right? Kirk Cousins coming off the Achilles. I think the offense as a whole, Atlanta's offense, is getting better each week. Kirk Cousins is getting healthier, more confident, I guess you could say, on that back foot. But his passing yards line is set at 230.5. He's over, obviously, in 6 of his last 10, averaging 248.7. Again, that goes back to last season before he tore his Achilles. But I mean, if you go back to last season, Kirk Cousins can sling the ball, right? Over in 6 of 8 games last season, averaging 292 passing yards per game. So we break this down, 471. That's 472 divided by 2 is 236. Okay, 236 passing yards is kind of what we need here, average, at least for the two of them. Baker's at 242.5, so we do 243 plus 231, which is what Kirk is at. That's 474. So the combo yards prop, we get a 2-yard discount between what they're both at on their passing yards lines here. I like this spot as well. It is, like I said, indoors in Atlanta, which can just bodes well for passing overall. The weather is not going to be a factor. 2.5 point spread here. Atlanta's actually 2-point favorites, and then we kind of just look at Kirk Cousins, right? Like I said, offense has been getting better. We saw he had that tough first week against against Pittsburgh, but it's thrown for 230 plus in 3 straight games. I mean, if we can get 230 from Kirk here, I'd like the odds for Baker to go, at least over for 240. If we talk about Baker Mayfield this season, he's had some weird games, but if you kind of take a look at how it breaks down, against Washington, horrible secondary. He had 289. Detroit, he only threw the ball 19 times, had 185. Denver, one of the best secondaries in football, 163, and then 347 last week against Philly. If we kind of also look at how this kind of breaks down in pass attempts, the Buccaneers are allowing the 5th most pass attempts per game in the NFL, and the Falcons down here at 19. So what is that? 14th most pass attempts. So both top 20, or essentially top 15 in pass attempts to the quarterback position. And then you kind of just look at quarterbacks game like this season versus Tampa Bay, how it breaks down as well. Jalen Hurts, super weird game, threw the ball 30 times, just got blown out from the very beginning. Bo Nix threw for 216, Jared Goff 307, Jaden Daniels in his first game in the NFL 184. And then we look at the other side in quarterbacks versus Atlanta this season. And if I can see this here, Derek Carr 239, Patrick Mahomes 217, Hurts 183, and then obviously Justin Fields 156, who doesn't throw the ball a ton. But I mean, if we see passing volume from Kirk Cousins like I do expect in this game, I like the over on this combo lines prop a lot. So this is the first play. Second play I'm looking at is going to be an interesting one, but I think the value is there. It's going to be, if I can type Tyler, it's going to be Tyler Algier. Let's see if this will populate for me. Tyler Algier over 4.5 receiving yards. I think this is an elite value here for Tyler Algier, who should, again, we can kind of continue to see RB2s, backup running backs, get a ton of work on Thursday Night Football on a short week. And Bijan Robinson, I know he's a little bit banged up. I know he ended up practicing this week, and he should be good to go. But just in general, right, Thursday Night Football, we see a little bit more work from RB2s, and Tyler Algier is probably the biggest RB2 in football, in my opinion, is for just as far as the work that he does receive and the upside that he does have. He ran 12 routes last week, caught 2 catches for 20 yards. Back in week 2, had 1 catch for 12 yards. I think if he can see 5+ routes in this one, I think there's some elite value here. If you go back to last season, right, in games where he did see some decent routes run as well. I mean, he's not going to see a ton of routes run, but coming off a week where he saw 12 routes and caught 2 catches for 20 yards, I like the spot here a lot, and it's an elite matchup. Tampa Bay Buccaneers this season, third most targets to the running back position, second most total receiving yards, second most total receptions, and then third most yards per catch or yards per throw to receiving running backs. And like I said, Bijan Robinson is sitting at his receiving yards prop at, let's see what he's actually at. Bijan Robinson receiving yards is sitting at, if I can say, 29.5. So we get, a 25-yard value here on Tyler Algier, who should just see some extra work. I think there's going to be more touches for him than normal in an absolute, literally the best matchup you can get. We look at running backs game log this season versus Tampa Bay, running backs that have seen at least 1 target. We've seen 8 of 9 running backs with at least 1 target clear this line. No disrespect, I don't even know who this is, and he caught 1 pass for 17 yards. I guess he's a running back for Detroit, but you can see the type of production running backs have had receiving the ball at the backfield versus Tampa Bay this season. And again, I mean, Tyler Algier in his career, when he logs 1+ reception, I mean, he's able to, really do damage. This is his receiving yards. He's a receiving running back. He can catch the ball. He's not just a running back that just needs to run the ball up the middle. He can get out. You can see that hit rate for when he sees at least 1 target. I don't know. I think it's a great spot. And even last season, Tyler Algier had a game. He had a game versus Tampa Bay where he actually caught 3 catches for 53 yards last season versus Tampa Bay. And even if you look at last season, Tampa Bay, was kind of a gold mine for running back receptions. I think that's just the scheme Todd Bowles lays out, but we can you can see Tampa Bay was down here 55 under 44. They were up there in production to receiving running back. So I like these 2 plays a lot here. I think obviously they both correlate. Again, Daily Grant Fantasy, you guys, DFS Optimizer. Link in the description below. Promo code TUFF, 25% off your first month. 2 player props for this game, Thursday Night Football. Please drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and as always, let's cash.